this for me. I was like, oh really?
Wow.
So that's how we actually got to be friends, and we're top-notch friends now. So yeah.
Get that.
Growing up with nothing, you tend to understand what it is that life has to give you and life to offer.
Yeah.
But we have a house, engineering, just near to Trevor Longo and Shinso.
Okay.
We have a house which is the family house also.
Wait.
But that's what holds my trophies today, and thanks to Tinashe Mutarisi for that. I think there's a time and a place for everything. God gives, of course.
Yeah. Today I'm joined by John Cole, the legendary choreographer, the man himself. I've been longing to have this interview with him. You know how I met this guy?
It's been 3 months.
I was just walking along Samora Michelle. Then I bumped into him. He was standing with his goons. And I wanted to, I was shy to say hi, or maybe I was starstruck. So I just built some guts and I said, I just want to talk to this guy. Because I grew up watching, hey, now you look like you're very old when I say you grew up watching. but maybe I'm younger than you, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I can say I grew up watching you in several videos from Amara Brown, Cynthia Murray,
Sebastian Magacha.
Yeah. I was in my teens, I think.
You're in your teens. Yeah.
Now I'm in my 30s. Early 30s. So yeah. So I'm very glad and I'm happy that you hit to my call. I thought maybe you just gonna say, this young man, what does he wanna do? But I respect you for that.
Yeah.
And for that you are authentic, and you are one in a million. Like that song you were singing from Ricardo.
Oh,
yeah. So man, how has been life treating you?
Life is good.
Yeah.
But but life has its ups and downs, and we move. Some days it's not as good as you'd want it to be. Some days it's actually not good, but some days it's amazing, it's perfect, and you're moving according to what you want to do. So not bad.
Yeah.
Life is lifing. That's what I always say. Life will be lifing.
Yeah. And there's one thing I also like about you. I came across so many articles. During COVID, you were contributing to the communities and to other artists, I think.
Yeah.
And there's a person who had cancer. You also...
She's now she's Marlene. She's now the CEO for ZOC.
Wow.
For the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee. And that's the thing, though.
That's the lady?
That is the lady.
Who had cancer?
Yes.
So she beat cancer?
She beat cancer.
Wow, thank God.
She's a fighter. Funny enough, you do things, and also Tapiwa.
Yeah.
So you do different things naturally.
What about Tapiwa? Did she survive also?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think she passed away.
Oh, my bad.
God rest her soul.
Yeah.
But we did what we could. We raised money. With Marlene, it was different. It was through her brother, DJ Smith, that we got to link up and everything. But nonetheless, it was a good thing. She told me eventually years later, I think we were working on another project. She's like, do you know who I am? I'm like, no, I have no idea. She's like, yeah, you did this for me. I was like, oh, really?
Wow.
So that's how we actually got to be friends, and we're top-notch friends now. So yeah.
But how does it feel to help people like the way you do and stuff?
I think.
And where did it come from? Where did you get that?
Growing up with nothing. You tend to understand what it is that life has to give you and has to offer. When I was young, a few people would help me, buy bread, give me a plate of food and all these things, because we grew up, poor, so to speak.
Okay.
So those that helped us during that time were guardian angels that made sure that everything that we were doing was amazing. So by all means necessary, I was just extending what it's kindness is a seed that grows like a tree in me.
Yeah.
And when then you give it to the world, it's another seed that you give, and then that person, it's like cross-pollination. Let's put it as that. Kindness is cross-pollination. I help one person, that person helps another, and the world is a better place.
You give and you get.
You give and you get, and you give and continue giving.
Yeah, wise words from the man himself. So now we're diverting. But I know people would like to know about yourself, how it all started. Who is John Cole? And how did we get to the stage we are now, as legendary as you now?
I think it was a lot of hard work, to be honest. Like, before I even start anywhere, I think it was a lot of hard work, persistence, focus, and diligence.
Where were you born and how you grew up and stuff?
I was born in Adbeni.
Just in snippets, yeah.
I was born in Adbeni, grew up in Sunningdale, grew up in Bade, grew up in Highfield. Like, because, we're a blended family. We're a mixed family.
Yeah.
One side of my family is mixed race. The other side is African or black, so to speak. And that being said, you have these cultures. You got to go see Anambuya, Nagogo, and so we had lived with different relatives during our time. So even though people don't believe it, like I did, like grow up partially in Bari, Highfields, Glenview, Budi, you know. But we have a house, engineering, just near to Trevor Dongo and Shinso. Okay. We have a house which is the family house also.
Wait, where is engineering? Sunningdale?
In Highfields.
Highfield.
Yeah, okay. Engineering, just the fourth house from the corner.
Okay.
And again, I grew up in Adbeni. That's where our house, the homestead of the Coles, comes from. Okay. So we have a house there. We have a house in Sunningdale. So all these things, it's merely just growing up in different areas and immersing myself in different cultures and traditions. And this is what made me who I am. So also it's about persistency. I started dancing in 2004, got professional 2009. I was taught how to dance by Edric Kozongeri, the dance side of business, so to speak. And from there, I just took on a whole different role, took on a whole different beast. And what I also wanted for me was changing the narrative of the dance industry.
Okay.
Single-handedly, some might argue it, some might accept it. But what I do love about where I am today is the public sees me as the people's choreographer. Yeah. And that's one of the most amazing gifts that have ever been given by the Zimbabwean people in Zimbabwe and internationally, and been recognized internationally. And one of the most amazing things for me was being able to now change from being just a dancer to a choreographer to a whole dance brand. That transition wasn't as easy because an artist is a headliner. True. A musician is a headliner. A band is a headliner. True. And I changed the status quo. And I said, a choreographer can be a headliner. And once I started putting myself and becoming part of a headline system, it just took up shape. And I started working in corporate companies, started working with different NGOs and different individuals. And eventually it just became the brand that people see today. I love the Zimbabwean people because they support, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about of how things have been going. I didn't know the impact that I've had in the industry until recently. Not gonna lie to you. I can go to Mvuma, I can go to Zimba, I can go anywhere. People will notice you. And then they'll be like, Deep Jonga, and you're like, okay. You know what I mean? Because you kind of use up like, that's Ja, that's Ja Signal, that's Natio, that's Holy 10. Yeah. But, you get there and they're like, didn't Dara Jones, things like that there. Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, and there's a lot of people, dancers who are in my DMs just saying, look, I'm inspired by what you've done in the industry. I'm inspired by things that you have done. And for me, that is my contribution to the world. I've done something because I wouldn't, if you had asked me when I was 12 years old or 14 and said, John, you would change the narrative, or rather you would shape an industry, I would say to you, a liar. True. And years later, this is what it is, and this is how we've been doing. And I'm just glad for everyone who has supported me and has given me everything the tools and the ability that has made me who I am today. And back then, it was just the artist, as you have said. It definitely was the main act. Was the main act. John Chubadura, you just know the singer. You just know the singer. Those dancers, they don't really know them. Not to take away from my Juice and Slow Mo and all these other dancers and choreographers,
Yeah.
they did the part that they need to do. Even my mentor, it's like a foundation. It's like I think every industry, we take it as a house.
Yeah.
Right? We will build the foundation. There are people
Yeah.
who come and build the foundation.
Yeah.
Then there's the bricklayers.
Yeah.
And then there's the window fitters.
Yeah.
And then there's the chromo deck fitters.
Yeah.
There's all these people coming in and contributing to the house.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes a full house. But again, the beauty of being builders and foundation makers and all these things, you tend to now renovate.
True.
And then it becomes innovation. And that's how we've been able to sustain the industry in different magnitudes. Remember, a long time ago, we just had music. It wasn't generalized.
Yeah.
Now we have dancehall, we have Afro beats, we have so many.
Yeah.
But everything started off on an R&B
Okay.
tip. Like if you can think about it, the people like Salif Keita,
Yeah.
Fele
Kuti, yeah.
Fele Kuti, all these people, they had an African sound,
Yeah.
but they hadn't yet put it into perspective.
True.
Those are the founders.
Yeah.
Yesterday I remember seeing a picture of Burna Boy and Salif Keita.
Okay.
Burna was happy to see Salif Keita.
Yeah,
But Burna's bigger than Salif Keita.
But Salif is a legend.
But Salif is a legend, right?
For a long time.
And he's hugging him with so much embrace.
Yeah.
You would hug Burna, but like, legend.
Yeah,
But
true.
he's hugging someone else. And, I remember when we used to watch Izom Guido with Eric Knight.
Yeah, that's
watch
true,
Salif
yeah.
Keita videos, the one with the lion,
Yeah.
with the bees on the guy's back, and all these things. These are people that shapes the industry, the foundation of an industry.
Yeah.
And that's what we just did. We just came in and we put a foundation to the industry.
Yeah.
And we started working together to make the house that we call the dance industry, to make the house that we call the music industry.
True.
So I believe everyone has a contribution, and everyone has contributed in the most magnificent way that they can, and to the best of their capabilities within. Because remember, every generation is different.
Yeah.
Long time ago, you had to go to a TV station to be interviewed.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting in my car having that interview.
True.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh yeah, you need to go there physically.
Yeah.
We can do it anyway, anyhow, because of technology.
True.
So, big ups to everyone during the 90s, 80s, 70s who released music, who danced. And again, like I said, our industry was shaped by so many dynamics, mainly, in terms of hip hop,
Yeah.
which was the biggest thing back in the 80s. Funny story, there was beef between Harare and Blawayo in
Wow.
terms of hip hop. Yeah, history that was passed down to us in terms of hip hop.
Okay.
So my uncle and my dad and them were hip hop or break dancers. I didn't know this. They used to break dance. Right?
Okay.
And they would go to Blawayo and they would just battle.
Your
with-
dad?
Yeah, my dad, my uncle, and all these people. And then Blawayo would come to Harare. But that's the thing. It was all friendly, or everyone just trying to, pop, lock, and drop. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was such a, when you're getting told this history.
So you got inspired from your dad, or what?
No, my mom.
She was a
I
dancer
didn't
also?
know. Yeah, my mom wasn't much of a dancer. My mom was into karate, the jiu-jitsu, judo.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I think you will mess up with that.
No, the beatings were fire.
Whoa.
My mom was crazy.
Whoa.
She was like on that Bruce Lee tip. You know what I mean? Nunchucks, But nonetheless, my mom really kind of like shaped my dance enthusiasm, because she'd record for me Michael Jackson, and you watch.
I was wondering that maybe you got inspired by Michael Jackson.
Look, 90%
Yeah.
of the artists you see today, Neo, Chris Brown, Beyonce, we cannot put Prince. But,
Yeah,
all
Prince
these
was a
artists-
competitor too.
He was a competitor.
Yeah.
But all these artists you see today
Yeah.
singing, Billie Eilish, if they were inspired by Michael Jackson.
Michael,
he was the guy.
Yeah.
He was the John Wick.
Yeah.
If you had a problem, you call Michael. Do you know what I mean? So we're all shaped in one way or another
Yeah.
by Michael Jackson.
I remember in junior school.
Yeah,
I used to know to give
Yeah.
those 180.
Yeah.
Baby, are you walk? Or something like that. Smooth criminal. Yeah.
So all these things were like such a dynamic for us, and even when Chris Brown is interviews, like, who inspired you? It's Michael Jackson, Missy Elliott, Timberland. All these people were inspired by.
And you
Michael
took it
Jackson.
from there.
And we all we immersed ourselves
Yeah.
in who he was. you know, and
because locally, it's hard for me to find out.
It is
someone who dances your dance moves.
There is people who dance
before.
Were there? Yeah, there was Edric Godzongeri, there was Tari.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who actually dance, but like I said, everything is generational.
Yeah, true.
So there's when we
maybe they didn't have the platforms to market them. Yeah.
So whatever you see us dance to 20 years ago, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't know what YouTube was.
True.
So whatever you said, we then got into the industry because of You Got Served.
Yeah.
So there's so many aspects and dynamics and little specifications that have make a whole thing become a bigger thing. So I'm just proud and happy that we had to learn from each other in the direction that we have to learn from each other.
So who taught you that? How did you pick up? Did you get the sense that you can survive through choreography?
Edric. In fact, any dancer today.
So he's your role model, that one?
Edric is my mentor. Like, literally, he taught me the dance business.
Okay.
Like, we were dancing for passion, but he was like, nah, you got to get paid, son. So, learning from him.
He danced for which artist?
He used to dance for the late Prince.
Prince?
Yeah.
From Stats?
No, the late Prince.
Oh, Prince Tendai?
Prince Tendai.
Character. Okay.
And then other people used to do corporate work. So that's how I got involved. Used to be the choreographer.
Yeah, but Prince Tendai was once big, yeah?
Yeah. Nah, it wasn't once. When you were big,
he was big, yeah. It never changes, you're right.
His contribution to the industry has been magnificent.
True.
And was magnificent. So Edric taught me the business end of this thing. He'd say, you know, and one of the things, well, you know, when you're young and you're impressionable, you're doing all kinds of nonsense, and he took me under his wing and he said, John, there's life after every event. So I got into the wedding industry through him. I got into the business corporate world, all these things, and he shaped my mindset to think like a business person.
When you met, were you doing it solo or you had a group?
No, we had a dance group. We had a dance group called The Image. Such a phenomenal dance group. It had so many people from different backgrounds, some people with different genres. Basil.
How did you meet up?
Actually, it was through Edric.
Wow.
So at Alliance Française, we had just gone for like an audition. I'll make this quick. Gone for an audition. We're standing there, but we're like all separate people, you know, but he knew everyone separately. And he says, yo, Leroy, which is my best friend too. He's like, Leroy and John, why don't you join Adrian and Basil? And then there was the Fire Brothers, Chris Styles and Francis and Fungi Tichana. And he's like, why don't you guys make a dance crew? And we went in, we auditioned. People actually don't know that when we auditioned, we didn't audition. We just freestyled and came up with some quick choreography.
Yeah.
And we became a dance crew.
Wow.
That's how we actually became inmates.
Wow.
And we would go against 5-0, which was part of the Bonnie Duchel clique. Sorry, Ben Duchel, not Bonnie. Son to Bonnie Duchel. And we would battle it out, and there was Liquid, and it was such a cool. Those days, battling was a battle.
Wow.
Like if you and I had beef, it was, you know.
Yeah.
Such an interesting time, such an amazing time, and all these things was such a big magnitude, amazing, and that evolved. And I remember this one competition, obviously, thanks to Plot Marco.
Yeah, Plot is a big guy.
Yeah, we did a Jubilee event, I think. If I'm correct, we got on stage, we performed, and no one wanted to perform after. I just give them the trophy. I swear that kind of happened. I was like, and then we got to travel and all these things.
Yeah.
But we all have to grow. And Funky's now doing his own thing. Basil's now doing his own thing. Adrian is doing his own thing. Marlon Krinky, Leroy, like we're all doing our own things. And it's such a phenomenal thing to watch us grow and be part of something that has.
Leroy, is it the one I'm thinking about?
Which one?
He's not tall. He's...
No, Leroy Moses. His name is Leroy Moses. Leroy Rocksteady Moses.
Oh, he's tall.
Yeah, no. He's in South Africa.
So yeah, there's another one who is a choreographer also.
Oh, Leroy. Yeah,
Leroy.
He worked. He worked for me for a while.
I think from Brayside.
From Brayside, yes.
Yeah.
He worked for my company.
You know him?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
Yeah, he came under my tutelage for
I picked up that you're also into music.
Yes.
How did that come up? Or
because
you've always been?
Nah, like I always wanted to. How do I explain this? I always wanted to dance to my own music. I always used to dance to everyone's music, and I wouldn't evolve. I was just there, And I said to myself, no, I want to make music. And thanks to Lee McHoney, the most beautiful soul I've ever met in the music industry, everyone else denied me a collaboration because they didn't understand what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then she came through, thanks to Blacks, who made it happen. And that, the next thing we have Skoro. Next thing we're nominated for a Star FM award.
Wow.
So we came in, worked with Chiweda. Such a phenomenal time to be in the studio. We made another song which is called Candy.
Yeah.
Which is Amapiano, which is a very fine song. Thanks to Net One for making that happen.
Yeah.
It's actually part of that One World album that my company, the
Okay.
John Cole Group, conceptualized, produced, and everything. So it was kind of fun. Because it's what, besides dancing, singing, we have a company, an agency, and a media house that deals with people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've expanded.
We have expanded. The vehicle of dance has made me go into the roads.
And you act.
And I act. Acting was forced, I will say this. Because I came into the acting role because I was working. They wanted a role. They wanted someone for a role.
Okay.
But because, I have the guy was like, you have these joker tendencies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then next thing,
I wanted to say that also.
yeah, and then he's like, you would work perfect for this part.
Yeah.
And then we do the movie, and then they're like, okay, cool, but can you bring Amara? And I was like, okay. And I brought Amara onto the movie. And then like, can you kiss Amara? I was like, oh my.
How did that go?
The most difficult time I've ever had on screen.
Yeah.
Because like Amara and I, we like cool like that. We like workmates.
Yeah,
right? And dancing and acting are
It's different, yeah.
But Amara's an amazing actor. I think it's natural for her.
Okay.
And then they're like, oh, you guys need to kiss. I was like, guys.
Then you just.
But we had to. And it was such a phenomenal time on set. And it was, oh, you can act. I was like, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Then after that, I did another series called Madhounds. And yeah, pretty much. And I also got to work. But prior to that, I got to work for ZBC.
Okay.
As a presenter for one season called Star Maker. I got that job because I was playing around on stage with the microphone.
Okay.
So I don't know what I was doing. I was just playing. I was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cynthia Mare show. The concert, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then this woman called Scar, she walks up, hands me like the cordless mic, the mic for the ZBC camera thingy.
Yeah.
And she goes, you're now a presenter. So let's
Wow.
go. I'm like, what? And first interview was with Titan, Cynthia. And then next thing I have a whole season of Star Maker with John Cole.
Wow. Man, your career is it's unpredictable.
Very much unpredictable, but you know what? I appreciate the things. And now I'm a master of ceremony. I learned,
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I've only emceed outside of the country. South Africa, Zanzibar, the UK.
You had also a deal in SA.
Yeah, that was
What
with,
Audacity something. Brand Audacity.
That is
Yeah.
honest. Masias, such an amazing individual, got me a nice, beautiful deal in South Africa.
Okay.
And it was such a brilliant time, and that was good. But appreciated. This all came off through the music and all these other things. So I appreciate what people have done for me in aspects. And like I said, that's the most beautiful thing that we can do as people: seeding, branching, making things work, and loving.
True. So I read your honors, like the things you've won in your career. When you were a kid, did you ever imagine that you would amass all those stuff?
No.
What was the motivation behind all this choreography?
I'll tell you the honest truth.
Yeah.
Right. When I started dancing, I really never cared for awards. I never really cared.
It was just passion.
It was just passion. I'm just gonna do my thing.
You had a job on the side or what?
No, that's all I did. I started off working in a textile shop.
Okay.
Materials. Bro, I know everything. Fleece,
Wow.
jacquard, polycotton.
Yeah.
All these things that and for me, that's why I started. Then I got to working, and then I started working in the industry, and then all these other things. But naturally, I feel like everything that you do has a starting point and an ending. And I started working, got into dance, and I never ever stopped. But I always wanted an award. And then my first award was 2015, and I remember that. And I would always say, and I just talk to Amara. Like, Amara, I want a dance award. She'd be like, no, John, you'll get one day.
Yeah.
Because when you're growing, you really want certain things.
True.
And 2015, I won my first award, and I haven't stopped yet.
Wow.
So every year I would win one. Then there's a year I got to win 4 awards in one night.
Wow.
And they were Best Entertainer, People's Choice, Best Choreographer, and Best something. I don't remember.
Okay.
Right. The only award I hadn't gotten in Zimbabwe was the Nama Award.
And you still haven't?
I got one.
You got it now?
Yeah, I got
okay.
one. I was on tour that day, and
You're not
I
around.
wasn't in the country. I was out. I was on tour in South Africa. And yeah, that was the only award that I actually have never touched. All that.
And you were really gunning for it?
Not really. You know, I think there's a time and a place for everything. God given, of course.
True.
So I really didn't like stress about it. I was like, when it's time, it's time. But every other award, I've if I'm in a category, I'm going to win that award. And thanks to the people of Zimbabwe supporting and voting, and people actually taking the work serious. So I'm proud about that. So if you come into my house, there is a big
cabinet
display, which was given by Tinashe Mutarisi actually.
Wow.
As a present. So I go, like, it's funny story. This gray cabinet, and I go, I want that cabinet, because I was buying furniture from Nash Furnitures, and then the guy goes, no, it's our boss's furniture.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is it doing in the shop though? He's like, I can't go up by mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, ah, cool. We were like, beep. One beep. And then
Then
like,
he picked up.
Dave. I was like, hey, Dave, I do that. Too many picture. I sent him the picture. And
he didn't know who he was talking to?
No, he knew. He knew who he was talking to.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. I was like, there's a thing, this thingy like this that looks like this. I'm going to put my trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
And then my trophy, sorry. And then he goes, hey, that's it. And then I send him a picture. He goes, okay. Without Damari. I was like, boys.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you know what? It's for you and your achievements. You can take it for free.
Wow.
The shop guy didn't know I knew his boss. So he was like, who's he talking to? And I was like, yo, your boss said I can take it.
Wow.
And he goes, which boss? Like, I was so confused. I remember that day. And I was like, hold on. I gave him the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, boss. Okay, cool. Then he looked at me like, who are you? So it was a funny situation. But that's what holds my trophies today. And thanks to Tinashe Mutarisi for that. Thingy, it's such an amazing thing. So the only thing I didn't have until now was the Nama Award, and I got that. I was nominated for social influencer in America.
Okay.
So that was also nice. So it's different aspects of how you work.
Yeah.
How
does it feel when you are looking at your trophies? Even that incident with Mr. Tinashe Mutarisi, how does it feel to you?
I'll be honest with you.
When people treat you like that, and when you see your achievements,
it's humbling because you have done something.
Yeah.
You have changed, shaped. Knowing that everything that you do, people pay attention to, people want to be part of it, and people want to immerse themselves in the life that you have. But for me, it's mainly legacy for my kids, for my children's children, like your grandfather was an amazing man. And the interviews like the ones we're doing, the news articles, they don't need to go further, but it's archived, it's there. You can read it, you can feel it. And generationally going down, they'll be like, we had a great grandfather. By the time maybe 200 years I'll be an ancestor. So,
Okay.
But think about it, coming out from poverty to become one of the greatest in the country is something. It's not a small feat, and I urge anyone who ever wants to do something different in life, don't be afraid to take the one step, because that one step will lead you to many steps. And my feet have taken me to China, Zambia, Zanzibar, the UK, all these countries, just by dancing. So don't give up on yourself, no matter what it is. So
when you talk about poverty, most people who are successful, they tend to come across that word, and it becomes like a cliche.
It's not a cliche.
But when it comes to you, what does it mean? How do you describe your poverty? How was it?
It sounds like a cliche.
Yeah.
But think about it. The most successful people are the people who come from a background that has hardship.
Sure.
That's our resilience. That's our, because you have your back on the wall. You have only one way to fight. Do you know what I mean? So for me, when I say poverty, I'm talking about not eating. You're only eating one meal a day. Oh. You're only eating a slice of bread. You're having to cross over to buy sugar, and your grandma not being able to pay school fees, family boots, and you have to put cardboard, so all these things. You don't have a jersey during winter, you're sleeping in one room as a family, so so it's a lot of things that encompass that. And for me, I just said, you know what, I made a choice. And I said,
you had a dream.
I had a dream, a dance dream, eventually. And when you become the thing that you want to, that you become,
it's satisfying.
It's not just only satisfying.
Yeah. For
me, honestly, it's for my kids. When I look back, I want my kids to be like, you know what, our dad did this. Let us try to be different.
True.
Innovative. My sons, they got their own little things that they do. They dance, obviously.
Yeah, I came across Avant. Is it
Avant and Duncan?
Yeah.
If you watch I did a concert
featured on some video.
Amara's video.
Yeah.
And
how old is he a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Okay.
Boy, Avant's a boy. Duncan's boy.
Okay.
16 and 13.
Wow.
And they're the one thing about that is that's the most proudest thing I'm actually being dad, and just loving these individuals without condition.
Yeah,
that's me. And they're drummer. One likes cooking. They have different habits as kids and different hobbies, but also they draw anime, manga. So that's a thing. I want to nurture that talent and see where it takes them eventually, because they can be the next manga, comic writers of the world that have changed the world, with different aspects. So I'm kind of proud about that, and it kind of puts me in a good space as a dad, saying, "Oh yeah, I did that."
True.
Yeah.
So after all has been said and done, what are your words, maybe your departing words to someone who's watching this video, about your career and what you've come across life and your achievements and everything?
I'll call it John Cole.
Yeah.
And I'll start off like this. J is for joy.
Yeah.
H is for humble.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, sorry. J is for joy.
Joy.
O is for originality. H is for humble. N is for a natural approach to things.
Yeah.
C is for coolness.
Yeah.
The other O is for origin.
Yeah.
And L is for love. And E, extraordinary. John Cole.
Wow.
That's what we got.
I think there's nothing more I can add from this.
Yeah,
But before we part, I just want to know, what do you enjoy besides dancing or art?
Watching TV. I love watching TV, anime.
At home, yeah?
At home.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like at home. I'm a homebody.
What kind of a dad are you?
I'm a strict father.
Okay.
I have my conditions, but I'm also a fun dad. I'm cool. Like all my nieces and nephews have to come to my house because I'm the fun dad. But I'm very strict. I'm very orientated on certain aspects of my life. I have conversations with my kids about grown-up conversations, because I'm not going to always be here.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, so at least you can impart the knowledge, impart the wisdom, impart everything, so your kids know. So yeah, pretty much that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think this episode is full of wisdom, wise words from a wise man, a legend in his own stature. And I would like to tell it to you: don't be amazed or surprised anymore. People really view you as a legend, and you are one of our respected assets in Zimbabwe. You have inspired a lot of kids in Zimbabwe. You cannot talk about dance without mentioning John Cole.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because we had to change the narrative. We had to change the landscape. And I'm glad I played a part in the history. I'm glad I played a part in the system.
Yeah.
Now we have so many choreographers who see themselves and view themselves as brands, fitness trainers, and all these things. Much respect to everyone doing the things, and that's all there is to it. There isn't any more.
Yeah. So from me and Mr. John Cole, I think watch the next episode and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah.